This is the motherfucking Blood Doctor Show. On a Thursday. A day late a little bit as we wind down our intro music because obviously I'm being a whiner with everything that's going on with the Suns. I'm complaining. We all know this. I'm very unhappy. We all know this. And, you know, there will be more to talk about in the Suns season on upcoming episodes of SNS. But today, this episode is really all about me and my dear friend B dragging each other. But before we get into that, let's just really quickly remind ourselves of the priorities of this current administration. And I don't even really want to do a whole 10-minute thing because at a certain point, like, I'm beating a dead horse here. Everyone knows my opinions on politics at this point. There's not a whole lot left to say. I think we know. I think that we know that every single person currently in office needs to be removed. I think that we know that basically everyone who is legally elected in the United States at this point needs to be questioned and investigated because of their connections to Epstein and all these things. I think we know where we are at this point in this country. And of course, I think we also know that probably none of this will happen. But let's remember, for any people who are still so stupid that they may theoretically be on the fence, that recent priorities of this administration include allowing death by firing squad. Because that's really what we've been missing from this country, is that when people get the death penalty, they'd be allowed to choose firing squad. We're really missing that one. Like that was something that we were missing, was going back to the 1850s. And again, seriously, what's the deterrent here? The idea that like capital punishment is a deterrent towards someone who's going to murder 6 people and then spend 20 years filing appeals before they beg for the gunshot. Like, I mean, here's the thing. We've had people request to be killed this way. So you're doing the murderers a favor by being more barbaric? I don't even understand what the fuck we're doing. We live in the dumbest timeline. The Supreme Court just made sure that there wasn't a majority black district in Louisiana because, in their words, it would be racist for black people to have voting rights. That's essentially what they said, is that a district that was majority black would be racist. And it basically would affect white people, because that would give black people power to vote and make choices. And we can't have that in this country. Let's not forget the town in Mississippi that literally had its right to elect its own leaders stripped away by the state because they kept electing black leaders. This country is a racist, homophobic, transphobic garbage pile right now. And it is embarrassing to be an American. It is going to be embarrassing to be an American a long time. American history books from this period will look poorly upon us. History will not look kindly upon our time as lead investigator. And unfortunately, there really doesn't seem to be a damn thing we can do about it, except this. Good point. Pack the court. Democratic president, Democratic Senate, Democratic Congress. Then you could expand the Supreme Court. But when they keep stealing the right to vote, it's like, how are we ever going to get there? Only Ethan Hunt could save us. That is the truth at this point. Ethan Hunt could come in and save us from this tyranny. We've seen him do it 8 times. Mission Impossible 9 should maybe just be about the Trump administration. That's really what it should just be. I support that. I wholeheartedly believe that, you know, at this point, defeating the Trump is just about as impossible as any of the other Mission Impossible missions that I've watched at this point. And given that I'm sick of talking about this motherfucker, and Mission Impossible is a perfect segue for my fellow Mission Impossible addict, not as much as me, claims of plot armor and all sorts of things that aren't other true, but nonetheless, you know, there's still something there. My good friend, who always has something to say, which is wrong. He's going to be really wrong today. We're going to go about it. Let's do it.
Finally, the B has come back to the Blood Doctor Show. And we still got to get that conversation about Mission Impossible because, man, I still never heard your 24-hour stream that you say.
It's happening. Recorded. I'm still doing it. I'm still working on it. It's just very, very long and takes a very long time.
Either way, we still got to get into that one.
I'm at Rogue Nation. So I'm getting there. I'm at Rogue Nation. It's just that it's like it takes. So each movie is like 2 hours, and it takes me like 3 hours to talk about the 2 hours. So like, we're getting there. It's just very, very long. And it has taken, I was supposed to be done for Dead Reckoning. So I'm just a little bit late at this point, but that's okay. Time is not linear. I don't give a fuck. One of these days it will finish, and I will air it in its entirety. And I will, then I'm going to quiz everyone that I know. I'll be like, did you watch everything? What did I say? 6 hours, 37 minutes in, you should have been listening. No, I'm just kidding. It's coming, though. We got one decent game today, and otherwise, there's not a whole lot. The Knicks won by 50 or 51.
Insane.
Like, Jesus
the
Christ.
Game was over in the first quarter.
They won that game like Trae Young was still playing for the Hawks, and they were angry at him for all the shit.
They never recovered from that one. Was Brunson with them at the time when that happened?
Yeah, he's knocked them out of the playoffs a couple of times. Yeah, Trae Young is when Atlanta went to the conference finals, they beat the Knicks, and he said a bunch of shit about putting on a show in New York. That was a good time. That was a fun team. But yeah, the 76ers pretty much got this locked down. 15 points, looks like, with 3.5 left. So I doubt that. I mean, it's not impossible. The Celtics could come back, but it looks like we're going to get a game.
They benched Tatum and Brown, so
if they're throwing in the towel,
come back.
Yeah, so if they're throwing in the towel, then we know where they're at. So game 7 coming, not in Knicks Hawks, but is coming in Celtics 76ers. We don't know at this point between Nuggets and Minnesota, but Minnesota, another chance to eliminate Denver, which certainly will factor into the discussion we're going to have today.
No Ayo Dosunmu, by the way. He's not playing.
Ayo Dosunmu. Minnesota Timberwolves superstar, Ayo Dosunmu.
Oh, man. It sucks because it just seems
they're
like
missing their whole team.
Injuries And then there's a couple of those numbskulls like, well, they're missing Peyton Watson and Aaron Gordon. Like, come on. Come on. It's and Dante DiVincenzo compared to Peyton Watson. Be for real.
It was the bubble series when the Rockets played the Lakers, and one Rockets role player was suspended because he brought a girl to his room. I can't remember who it was. It was like I'm
forgetting his name. Forgetting his name.
But it was like a Tari Eason type player. It wasn't Tari Eason, but it was like a role player, and they were like, well, if we'd had him, we would have won the series. It's like you're talking about someone who barely fucking plays. Like
I have
people
to
do that all the time.
Now,
like
still, I remember exactly.
We gotta remember. Now we gotta remember who it is. But people do that all the time. Was it like Gary Trent Jr.? No, it was somebody though that Rockets fans were like, well, if we'd had
Daniel House. It was Daniel House.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So they're right there. So the idea that Daniel House was going to change the fucking series, like that was what Rockets fans were going on about.
That's some elite
coach. The whole if we had this player, it's like, dude, but you didn't. Like, we did that. I've done that a million times with Chris Paul and the Suns, but Chris Paul.
That's valid though.
He orchestrated everything. That's different. But these people are like, wow, any player that we're missing affects our chances. And it's like, come on, dude. Like, if you have Jokic and you have Jamal Murray and you have some role players, you should still be able to put together a functional team. Especially when, like you said, like Minnesota's down like their top 3 guys at this point. Like,
at the guard position as well. That's important.
Like they basically got nobody to initiate offense at this point. You're starting Mike Conley. That's
what is he almost 40 now?
Started Mike Conley and Terrence Shannon today.
Yeah, he's almost 40.
Mike Conley, Terrence Shannon, Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle, and Jaden McDaniels. There's your lineup. Like with Bones Highland and Jalen Clark getting a huge chunk of the minutes off the bench. It's like they should be losing by 30 right now.
It should be.
I mean, you still have Christian Brown, Cam Johnson, Nikola Jokic, and Jamal Murray. That's 4 of your 5 projected starters if you're Denver, and they're losing.
And that Christian Brown contract, though.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, he's had his moments, but I don't know, dude. It's like one of those things, like, some of these guys, it happens all the time, right? Like the minute a dude gets the contract, suddenly they're not valuable anymore. And everything that made them who they were is no longer the truth. Like I remember when Landry Fields was like, everyone was like, Landry Fields, that's the kind of role player that every team needs. And then the Knicks gave him $20 million over 3 years, which at the time was ludicrous for a role player. And he was awful, predictably. And everyone was like, well, that was one of the dumbest things ever. And he recently just got fired as Hawks GM. But the point is, like, you know, a guy is only worth, like, they only have excess value up to a certain dollar amount. And then we reach a certain point where they're just not worth it anymore. And that Christian Braun contract, it's like, what is he doing that's worth $20 million or $25 million a season? Like, he's not even is he even a tertiary scorer? Like, he can't create anything. I don't know. And it's, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see. 76ers putting the Celtics away at this point. So that's a 14-point game. That's over. But so this Nuggets Timberwolves game is the one. And this is interesting because we'll have to pay attention to this because this feeds into one of the things I want to talk about, which is Jokic. But before we go there, let's just go to the eliminated team. Let's begin with mine because the only thing to do is to begin with the Suns being eliminated. And you know, in the light of day, it's like, you know, I mean, obviously it sucked the way that everything that went with the Thunder, but Devin Booker has come out and talked about his commitment to the team, and Dylan Brooks has talked about his commitment to the team, and, you know, ownership has talked about, we want to keep continuity with this group and we want to, you know, kind of build it into next year. And I think that that's the right thing for the Suns to do. I think that the worst thing that they could do would be, oh, we're going to rebuild this thing again. You know, like, let's rebuild this thing on the fly yet again and ship half our players out yet again. I think the only thing that matters is, what do you do with Jalen Green? That's the question. Because it's like, are you going to keep him long term? Then you're going to need to extend him soon because his contract wasn't long. Or are you going to admit that didn't work out and let him move on and keep Dylan Brooks? Like, I don't know. Like the Jalen Green thing is hard to say because he didn't play most of the season. He didn't play well when he did play it, and then he had this unbelievable game against the Warriors where he beats them by himself. You know, so
seems like that just seems to be the summary of his career. Because 1 minute he looks like, oh, this is the next big top scorer in the league. And then the next minute it's like, where were you at?
Yeah. And that's the problem, is the inconsistency. The one thing I loved from him in the Thunder series was that he was playing off the ball. He was constantly running around double picks. He was constantly flying around. And again, I know that we lost every game, but one of the bright spots in the series to me was that Jalen Green made good decisions. And he didn't really cost us any of the games with stupid choices, which he had done in the regular season, not with the Thunder in particular, but just in general. But it's just hard for me because it's like, if that extension is at his current salary or a raise, that's hard. If it was a slight, like, he should be making 25, the Christian Braun contract. Like, if it was like 3 years and 75 million, I'm very happy to give him that extension. But I just don't think he would be happy with that, because I think he sees himself so as a superstar. And, you know, I that's the hard part for me, is I don't know how to thread this needle where Jalen Green still gets to feel like a superstar, but we don't have to pay him like one, because like you said, like, he's not worth that. But I don't know how you keep him happy otherwise, because, like, the whole thing bringing him here was he's going to play next to Booker and blah, and, you know, it kind of worked, I guess. I don't know. We made the playoffs. He's out. I don't know. It's a complicated situation. Like, he's 6'4". He's right on that borderline of guards that we were talking about. Like, you know, it's like, it's hard to be an elite player in this league when you're not 6'6" or bigger. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's a hard thing for the Suns. Like, at least with the Cavs, you know where you're at. It's like, if the James Harden thing doesn't work out, then you let Harden walk and you trade Jared Allen for whatever you can get for him, and then you still have Mobley and Mitchell, and you figure it out from there, you know? Yeah. I don't know what the Suns, like, yeah, I mean, it's true. It's like, the problem is that for the Suns, it's like, he's going to want to have those extension talks. Maybe he won't. Maybe he just wants to play out his deal. And that may be the best thing for the Suns, is for him to just play out his deal, because I don't know. It's tough, man. It's just what bothers me is, man, the Spurs showed vulnerability in that series. We could have taken at least a couple of games from the Spurs. Yeah. I mean, the Blazers even got one. And so that pissed me off that it's like that choke job against the Blazers was frustrating, man.
Never forget the hot take that he dropped a couple of weeks ago with his Spurs versus Suns.
I know. Well, I stand by that. I stand by that if we had gotten the 7th seed, we could have beaten the Spurs. I'm not backing off that at all. I don't think we ever had a chance against the Thunder, but I 100% believe we could have had a. I'm not backing down from that at all. Now I understand the logic. One game. Yeah, if you can't beat the Blazers, you can't beat the. I get it, and I'm not. You're not wrong, But I also do think that I'm not a huge fan of how our coach handled that whole situation. He should have gone to the bench earlier and played some of the kids. We've got some young defensive talent, and we're not using it. So like that was disappointing, especially when defense was clearly the problem. But I don't know. Like the Jalen Green thing still sticks in my mind. Is the worst thing about the season is I don't think the Suns got the definite answer to the Jalen Green question, because that's the most important thing, was figuring out, is Jalen Green a long-term fit next to Devin Booker? And I don't think we have the answer to that question. So I would say that, unfortunately, while this season was successful for the Suns because they made the playoffs, I don't think they answered their most important question. And so you have to go into next season maybe planning to do the same thing, and then you're going to spend another season trying to answer this question. That's tough. There's lots to figure out with contracts and everything, but it's like when you come into a season and everyone says you're going to win 25 games and you win 45 games, you really should just be happy. We really should just enjoy what the Suns did this year. But it's like I've been watching Devin Booker for 12 years and I don't want his career to slip away. And so it gets harder and harder to like just enjoy the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I want Devin Booker to win, and I want him to win in Phoenix. And we're starting to reach a point where that's looking, I mean, I don't want to say impossible, but it's like, what are the Suns going to do in the next 3 years that's going to put them past the Thunder and the Spurs? Like that's the question. Like if you're in the West right now, the question becomes, how do you get past those teams? And I don't know. And I'm the biggest Suns optimist in the world. You know that. You just pointed out. And I don't know what the Suns can do in the next 2 years that puts them past those teams. And that's where I worry a little bit.
Yeah. It's tough, but I'm going to save. I have a hot take regarding your Suns, and I'll save for the Power Bat segment.
Okay. Well, that's, yeah. If you're going to piss me off, do it at the
end. This is the day. No,
but the good thing for me is that they came out, everyone came out like, I want them to just keep this team together and build chemistry for once, because I think we're seeing in the NBA how important chemistry is.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that teams that play together for 3 and 4 years really start to, especially in the playoffs, have a little something that, like, look at the Magic right now. Like the Orlando Magic had a rough regular season and nothing was going their way. But come playoff time, come slow it down, grind it out, defensive playoff time, suddenly the chemistry that they do have matters more than what's going on. I'm not saying that they've won, but I'm saying that I thought the Pistons were going to sweep them.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that was a crazy series. But I think they probably would have finished with a better record if Franz didn't miss so many games as he did.
True.
And it's looking like the fact that Cade is like their only playmaker, shot creator on the lineup is starting to come back to bite them, because like Alcer is getting the Ben Simmons treatment. Yep. And Jalen Duren looks like a toddler right next to Wendell Carter. That's the biggest shock, because I remember I'm gonna proudly claim I went to one of those Detroit games, so I seen it all in person. But Duren looked like he was able to get his own bucket at times, and now it looks like
he had a nice season.
He's scared.
He had a really nice season.
Yeah, like they were saying he was gonna get a max deal, like the super max. Now it's like you see this and you're like, can we really pay you? Like when you face other big guys, it looks like you fade, because like it's easy when you're in the regular scene, because not everybody has one of the top tier big men in the game, you can take advantage of smaller guys who are probably not as physical as you are, but it also helps that they got that little Angel Reese thing between the two of them. So Wendell's probably playing with that chip on his shoulder, like, I got your girl. I'm about to take your series too. But yeah, I don't know. Tobias Harris, I said it to you before. I'll say it again. I see this guy play, and I'm like, how are you so like bad? Like, how do you miss the shots that you miss? Because I seen him play. He has a nice jump shot. Like, it looks good, but it just misses. Like, it's so weird to me.
He is not clutch. Like, he is decidedly bad in clutch situations. That has been Tobias Harris shrinks in the moment, and
don't get me started on Karis LeVert as well.
Yep, dude, it's just the truth. And I think the other thing too is, like, you mentioned both Jalen Duren and not having a second creator. Dude, they had the opportunity to trade for Lauri Markkanen, and they didn't want to do it because they didn't want to whatever. Basically, they didn't want to give up Duren for Lauri Markkanen. And I'm like, dude, if you had Cade and Markkanen right now, you're blowing the Pistons, or you're blowing the Magic out of the goddamn water, because Markkanen is the perfect fit next to Cade. And like Duren, I understand the idea of they're young. This is the chemistry argument, right? Let them grow together, let them take their chops, all those things. But the East has never been more wide open than this. And you have an opportunity to go to the finals.
Yeah.
And you didn't do anything basically to beef up your team. And now you're on the brink of a first round elimination. Like, this is a bad look for the Pistons, because everything was about, no, let's let our team grow. Let's let them come together. They need a playoff run. They need to take their lumps. But that shouldn't have involved losing in the first round to a team that hasn't fucking figured it out at all. Now, it's still 3-2. There's still plenty of time. But, tomorrow in Orlando, Franz Wagner being out certainly doesn't help.
Yeah.
But, the defense has been hammering them. So I don't know.
I think it goes both ways. It's been going both ways in terms of like the defense, from what I've seen.
True. But nobody accuses Orlando of having a good offense. This is it. Nobody in this world is like, Orlando, that's an offensive juggernaut. They're always
like, I'm watching Suggs, and I'm like, I thought you were better than that on offense. Like, he had a game where he was like 1 for 11 or something like that.
Suggs can shoot, but he's not like, I think he's overrated as like a 2 guard. He's just a 3-and-D wing.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Weird. I don't think he's much of a creator. And I think that he's always been a little bit overrated. Like, when he came out, people were like, he could be a franchise changer. I'm like, no. Did any of you watch Gonzaga? Like, no, he can't. He's good.
I know a lot of Raptors fans were disappointed they never drafted him.
Dude, Suggs is good, and he's probably truly exactly what the Raptors need in terms of a guy who doesn't need the ball and will defend all over the place. Like that, he would honestly fit in nicely. But truthfully, at this point, he might be too much of a poor man's Scotty Barnes. But it's like, you can never have too much defense, Like, it's like, I really think you always need more defenders. Do you think? So do you think the Magic will win that series, or do you think that the Wagner thing is just like,
if he's out, I think this could go to 7 games. I feel like we're getting a history repeating ourselves, because apparently, what was it, like 23 years ago, this same thing happened with Orlando and Detroit?
Yeah.
T-Mac and Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
History might be repeating itself right now.
And that was I think that was like in the second to last year of the Grant Hill contract.
Crazy.
Because I think Grant Hill left in 2004. That's when he actually went to the Suns after the 2004 season. And they rehabbed his knees and shit. Maybe he didn't go straight to the Suns. I can't remember. But yeah, the T-Mac year, dude, I think about that a lot. There's a world in which prime T-Mac, prime Grant Hill, and prime Tim Duncan all played for the Magic. Like, there's a world.
They were supposed to. He was supposed
Tim
to sign
Duncan,
or something like that.
Tim Duncan was this close to leaving the Spurs in 2000 to sign with the Magic, dude. He was like on the fucking plane. Like,
and what stopped him?
everyone forgets that shit. I think like Popovich, like basically said like, you know, I'm gonna rebuild this team because you know Tim Duncan or David Robinson had retired.
He was on his way out, yeah.
Right, and so they had won a championship, but Tim Duncan in the first 3 years, like now the team is super old, and you know because it's like
getting their ass kicked by Kobe.
Yeah, everybody's old, and so they're like, dude, he's like, I think I'm gonna go. We won a championship. I think I'm gonna go play with Doc in Orlando, and I think Pop just convinced him, like, no, I will build. If you go there, you're second to Grant Hill. If you stay here, we'll build everything around you. And I believe that's what kept him. But he was like, everyone forgets Tim Duncan almost left fucking 3 years after he was drafted. Like that's one of the craziest things is NBA contracts back then, dude. Like Chris Webber had an opt out after he signed a 15-year contract with the Warriors as his rookie deal, but it had an opt out after year one, which of course he exercised. Like it was just. NBA contracts used to be insane, man. It's good that they have like prevented because teams will do stupid shit always. It only takes one, you know.
What was the Players Association like back then?
Weak. I mean, like the Players Association for a very long time has been. It's only in the last like 15 years that they really, really, and that is funny because in truth, probably. The best the players' representation has ever been was in 2000 when they got that deal where they got 50% of the split. And then in 2011, they ended up giving back 7%, which was crazy. But they've been better represented in recent years because they've gained a lot of things that they didn't have previously. But yeah, dude, like back then, like the Players Association, like the owners could just do whatever crazy shit they wanted. And then sometimes it worked out for the players because they would get these super long contracts. But then the owners started to be like, well, we don't want to give those contracts anymore. And the players are like, okay, but we need 4 years of guarantees and blah, blah, blah. I actually find that shit very interesting. I would read a book that was just about like the contract machinations of how like the Supermax came to. Like I would read an entire. I'm such a nerd about contracts. I really am.
Oh man, that's foreign language to me. I'm just like, are you with the team for how long?
All right, cool. I love contracts because like I don't know. I got obsessed with it playing 2K and Madden and like doing all that shit in simulation. And so now like one of my favorite things to do is guess contracts for free agent players. Like that's always so fun to do. And I'm honestly pretty good at it. In the NBA, it's a little different because you know the max sets an artificial cap, but in football and baseball, it's like who the fuck knows? How are you feeling about your Cavs now?
Oh man, lead? I did say Cavs in 6, but the way I seen that going, I thought it was gonna be one of those where we win the first 2, we split one in Toronto. And then they get one on us, and then we finish it in Toronto. But it didn't go that way. We gave up 2, and those 2 games, it did not look good at all. Like, you started hearing the rumblings of, oh, here goes playoff Harden again. And Donovan Mitchell had a stinker. It was like 6 for 24. Man went for a foul bait on a shot to tie the game in the last couple seconds. It was looking very brutal for us for a second. But then we bounced back. It looked spooky in the first 3 quarters of that game too, but I guess the Raptors went cold just long enough for us to pull it together. But I don't know. It's like Scotty Barnes plays different when he's in that home crowd. Same with RJ. Something about that home cooking, man. We got some good food spots out here, as you are very well aware of. So,
agreed.
You know, Agreed. Maybe just having that Toronto food is good for them.
I have long said that the 2 most underrated cities for food are Toronto and Phoenix. Like I wholeheartedly believe that. Toronto specifically, not just an underrated food city, but very specifically underrated for Indian food and pizza. Toronto should be mentioned with New York and Chicago as a pizza city because the number of delicious local parlors you can find in Toronto that just do like an incredible slice. It's unreal. Like it's like New York City. Like The number of places that do great pizza in Toronto is like, and you got like the Big Slice, which has been there forever. I don't know if that's still there. Like, but like, I love, dude, you're never going to get a negative argument from me about food in Toronto. Yes, it's one of the greatest. And it's a multicultural melting. You have food from all over the world. If you want food from Bangladesh, you want food from Vietnam, you want food from Jamaica. It's on the same block in Toronto. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I miss that. I miss Jamaican meat pies everywhere too, man. Like, we don't do those here really in the US. Like, I miss the meat pies are just everywhere, like I miss that stuff. Like Canada.
Y'all have a lot of Jamaicans out in Phoenix?
Not here, no, but they do. There's a lot of that in like New York.
Yeah, I know New York.
There's some of that in LA. Yeah, like coastal cities. Yeah, in Phoenix, it's obviously very much Hispanic and Native American culture. That's the majority of what is here. Like most, and there's a lot of very good other foods here, but I just mean like culturally, there are very large Hispanic and Native populations here that make up the majority of what we actually get from other cultures. But
so I got a lot of Mexican foods out there, huh?
Dude, this is the place you come to for the best Mexican food. It's better than California. It's better than New Mexico. It's better than everywhere. You want real Mexican food. You want the best Mexican food. You fucking come here.
Okay. I need to come for some empanadas then.
Yes, you do. Yeah, we're gonna, and empanadas are Argentine, but that's fine. We don't need to worry about that. The point is, they serve them in Mexican restaurants, especially in Canada. How the hell are you gonna know?
How am I supposed to know?
It all gets. That's the thing, is that it all gets lumped together. Like, that's the thing, is that what people consider Indian food in America, like, is like really a whole. Well, it's a whole mix of different regions and stuff. Like it's like you'll go to Indian places and they're serving gyros, and I'm like, no. But that's how it is, because everything just gets mushed together here. That's USA, baby. Just cram it all together.
Sounds
What would define a successful season for you? Okay, so halftime, by the way, Timberwolves lead by 7. So again, your Jokic argument is getting stronger right now, man. What constitutes a successful season for you for the Cavs? Like, for me,
Conference finals.
Okay. Like for the Suns, we made the playoffs. I know we got swept. We still gave the Thunder we played hard. We didn't quit. We didn't get beat by 50 like the Hawks did today. Well, we didn't in game 1, but whatever. We didn't at the end, whatever. So I still feel like it was a successful season for Phoenix. You got to see conference finals. I think that's reasonable. Because
Mitch never been there.
Yeah. This team is, I mean, I think when you progress farther than you've been as a unit, that season was successful. Even if there were expectations or hopes for the Cavs this year because of, whatever the East may be, and it's going to be interesting to see what the Harden thing is too. Because like you would assume that him getting traded there means he's going to get money,
Yeah, that's how he is. It's like, if you're not going to pay me, trade me.
Because they didn't do an official extension, right? He didn't even get
extended. That's his main thing. He just wants that long-term commitment from somebody. If he's not getting it, he's going to be like, I don't see a chance of us winning. Shit me somewhere else.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. But I'm not out on the Cavs yet. I'm with you. Like, I still think there's something to be done here because, again, nobody in the East playoffs has looked like a juggernaut.
Yep. No matter what happens, though, trade Jared Allen, that charming teddy bear. Like, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there's a couple of the fourth quarters, they're not even putting him on the court because of who the Raptors have out there.
It's a tough series for Jared Allen, though, because of the way the Raptors play. Like, this is especially with Mobley being there already. Like, this is like they're well built to go against like the Thunder, though, because of the Thunder's too big lineup. Yeah. Like, the Suns got destroyed by that lineup, and the Cavs would be one of the few teams that could play with them.
Well, I think
that would be the one
thing. Starters, but after that, the bench talent kind of is overwhelming.
I mean, I listen. I would love Jared Allen in Phoenix. So if you wanna trade him, please send him my way because we could use that very much. Like, there's
Dillon Brooks then.
No, but honestly, like there's like a Grayson Allen and like a young player for like Jared Allen. There's a swap there that actually makes some sense. Give the Cavs a little wing depth. Give the Suns an actual starting set. Now that also, I say that because Mark Williams is always hurt for this. It's always been his problem for his whole career. It dogged him throughout his whole time with Charlotte. It's why the Lakers canceled the trade, and now he missed half the season with the Suns. It just kind of is what it is. Like, I don't know what. Again, he's another guy. I don't know what you pay unless he's willing to take a discount because he's always hurt and he just wants to lock in some money. You know, I don't know, but that's the thing. So if Jared Allen wants to come to the Suns, and you know what, that might be. We'll trade you, Mark Williams and Grayson Allen, and you can deal with Mark Williams yourself. There you go, perfect plan.
Swap that for Dylan Brooks, and I got a deal.
Man, our owner loves Dylan Brooks. He's not going anywhere. He's going to pay that motherfucker. Dylan's in the best situation for himself because he's about to get money. So conference finals. Who would the Cavs play in the next round?
They'd face either the Pistons or Magic.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
Knicks are waiting for the Celtics.
Certainly what we've seen from the Pistons and Magic, neither of those teams either looks, infallible either. Yeah. So I really, the fact that Cavs are up 3-2, I mean, you've got the game 7 should everything go wrong at home. So, I feel pretty good about the Cavs. And again, the way the Pistons and Magic are playing, especially if it's the Magic, like, I think the Magic can't, and I know that they played in the playoffs and it didn't necessarily go well for the Cavs, but I think right now, as constructed, I do think that Harden poses a significant offensive problem that the Magic simply don't have anyone to keep up with, because it's not like Bane is creating offense. He's a shooter, So, I mean, he creates some, but I don't know, man. That'll be a very interesting one for sure. Did you have any thoughts on the Hawks Knicks? I think the Hawks are heading in the right direction. That's really all I have to say about that.
It looked like the Knicks were about to choke that series because I don't think anyone predicted Atlanta beating them. I did, but that was an upset pick on my behalf. But yeah. The Knicks are looking like they're about to make a run still, especially with the way Boston's looked the last 2 games. I think the Knicks are feeling real good about their chances, especially since even last year they were going to win that series even if Tatum played.
Yeah.
So
they had that series locked down. Yeah, they had that series locked down. I don't think there's any question about that. And so I do. Yeah, I mean, the Knicks-Celtics series is going to be amazing. It's crazy that we've gotten back to that, assuming, of course, that the 76ers don't pull a crazy, crazy rabbit out of the hat. Like, that would be – well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Now, I'm disappointed in Dyson Daniels because I thought he was on the upward tick, and then seems like he just forgot how to shoot all of a sudden.
I mean, it's the Hawks' first playoff experience, right? So I'm not too worried. And I've said before, like, I like Jalen Johnson more than Paolo Banchero. Like, if you were asking me right now to pick a player, like, Jalen Johnson would be near the top of the list of guys I would want to draft to, like, start a team. So I really think the Hawks are on the right trajectory. I think they were smart to get rid of Trae Young. It was just time to move on and do something different. And I have no issue with it. I mean, they lost by 50, whatever. Again, it's just like, they're rebuilding everything around Jalen Johnson, so they'll be fine. I agree with you, though. I think the Knicks and Celtics series could be, like, a truly, truly great series, assuming that the 76ers.
Ricochet is a disappointment as well.
Who's disappointed?
Zach Ricochet, the number 1 pick. Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone knew he wasn't really worthy of being a number 1 overall pick.
It was a weird year for the draft, to be quite honest.
It was a bad draft. It was like the worst one since like 2000. And if you're a Hawks fan, it's like, of course, that's the year we get number 1 overall. When there's no, I think, wasn't Steph Castle in that draft?
Yeah, he was number 4.
Yeah, so they fucked that up, of course. But what are you gonna do? That's not, I don't think anyone thought Steph Castle would be this good. So
yeah,
but still a fuck up. But I still think the Hawks are good. I definitely
need to replace Trae Young.
Yep.
They're still waiting for that replacement. CJ's
they
just
don't have a
guy.
point guard. Yeah, I mean, Jalen Johnson's averaging like 7-8 assists. So, I mean, he's doing everything for them. Game 7. Celtics, 76ers. Is this going to be a classic 76ers don't even show up and lose by 40 kind of thing? Or are we going to get an actual game here? Because we've seen this show a bunch of times. And every single time the Celtics eat Joel Embiid's lunch and ruin his day, and he has to post a picture of himself crying.
Man, I know history says that the Celtics win this, but I don't know. Something about this year feels a little different to me still. I can't tell you. Maybe it's the surgence of Tyrese Maxey and my guy VJ Edgecombe. That's my guy. Not just because I use him in 2K, but I think he's a hooper. Well, Paul George has been playing quietly pretty well for them too.
Yeah, and certainly having Paul George as a role player at this point is a very useful thing. You know, he's not what he once was, but you know, ignoring contract and looking just as a role player, you love a guy who can play a little defense, shoot some threes, create some offense.
For sure.
And in a reduced role, it makes a lot of sense. And I agree. I mean, Edgecombe has been awesome. I mean,
he's grabbing a lot of rebounds, actually. Yeah. And especially if Joel's not able to crash as much as he used to, that matters.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and Edgecombe and Maxey, you got your backcourt of the future. You got to wait for this, you know, Paul George contract
for that one.
Yeah. But so, okay. So the question I posed to you in the DM, and I know you hated it, but I'm just asking, is it possible that Joel Embiid is like the most overrated player of all time? And here's why I'm asking. He came into the league with, like, you know, Bill Simmons called him the 7-foot Serge Ibaka. Like the level of like, I remember this draft. Like he shot up to number 1 very quickly, despite having back issues. Like then he ended up falling back to
I think it was 3rd.
He fell to 3, I think.
Yeah.
Like it was like he was like top of the draft boards, and then he fell down a little bit, and everyone wasn't sure.
They favored Wiggins over him, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So in the draft process, I can understand why you wouldn't agree because he didn't go number 1 overall. So I can understand that undercuts the argument right there. However, since basically those first 2 years where there were all the articles about him drinking Shirley Temples and he wasn't exercising and doing all these things, he's on every MVP list preseason. He's on every, you know, championship watch. Every single year, it's like, this is the Sixers year to break through. And it's been that way. It was that way for a decade. And he never did anything. He's never even been to a conference final. You know, the one they should have gone to the conference final and they lost to the Hawks. So, like, at a certain point, the fact that you get injured in every playoff series matters. Can you think of any player who's been mentioned in the MVP like world as many times every season that did this little?
I think that speaks to just how talented of a player he is, that with all that you mentioned, he still gets that type of reverence and respect. Because when he is healthy,
is an MVP ass argument if I've ever fucking heard one.
When he is healthy, we see what he does. Like, folks want to talk about he gets to the free throw line a lot. They're fouling him. They are literally fouling him. And it's the whole Shaq issue. Shaq doesn't sell the call, so he didn't get to the line as much as he should have. But if Shaq got every single call, who knows? If he hits all his free throws, he's averaging 50 a game. But, like,
so you had Ben Simmons and Ben Simmons melted. Simmons melted. That's fine. But you had James Harden. You lost then too, and he was on the court. Like, at what point? Like, when does Joel Embiid get blamed for losses? I just, it's all excuses. It's always an excuse about how, well, the team around him isn't that good. Well, Ben Simmons was supposed to be a generational talent. Well, James Harden quit on the team. Well, freak. There's always an excuse.
Sometimes the year they were up 3-2 to the Celtics, I have no excuses for him there because they had a chance in that game 6 to close it out. I believe in the fourth quarter, Tatum was like 1 for 11 or something. And then he went on like a run all by himself to take that game. And then he followed it up with the 50-pointer in the game 7. So that one, there's no way around it. I think outside of that year, I think the only year he actually like his best chance of winning was the year that the Raptors Kawhi shot got put on his head. Outside of that, like I feel like even you could probably even put in the Knicks year where he underachieved. There's been a lot of years there he could have done more, but also he got hurt. Like we seen the injuries, like. But that at a point when it's so frequent, you kind of have to put it on him because, like, what are you doing to improve your situation? So I get that aspect of things.
And I'm not even saying Joel Embiid is bad. I'm not. Joel Embiid was awesome. And, dude, if we don't have him, we don't win the gold medal in the last Olympics because he took it to Jokic for 5 straight minutes. Yeah. And won that game against Serbia for the USA.
Bro, I am not every time he plays Denver, he fries them. But he doesn't go to Denver.
He won't go to Denver. He won't play in Denver. Yeah. Listen, I'm not trying to hate on Embiid. What I'm saying is that he has been mentioned as a top 5 player and has won an MVP. But I think that his playoff performances warrant a discussion of the fact that like, it's the same thing with Durant. Like, are we ever going to talk about the fact that Kevin Durant destroys chemistry? Like I don't like. What? How many times in a row do we have to see it? I don't care that like he's not even at the bench in some of these Rockets playoff games. He showed up after people were criticizing him for it, and like, I don't know, dude. Like, the thing is that. It's like, oh, he's getting treatment. He's doing this. Lots of other guys do that. And they're still there for their team. And Durant constantly is just somewhere else doing something else. His head isn't there. Oh, he can't play. His whatever. And I'm just at a certain point, the Rockets were like on an upward. Now, okay, fair enough. They also lost Fred VanVleet and Steven Adams. I understand that. But I get that. But they brought in Kevin Durant this season. Yeah. Well, but you brought in Kevin Durant this season. He played 37 minutes a game. He played hard, fine. But did Amen Thompson grow at all? No. Did Reed Shepherd grow at all? No. Did Alperen Şengün grow at all? No. Like, they're not getting any better because we got to do the KD thing all the time. Devin Booker shrunk in a couple of years playing with KD because he couldn't figure out how to play off of him because KD wants the ball in big moments, but doesn't want to initiate. It's like very strange. Like watching him play with the Suns, like he's awesome, but like he's not a floor raiser. He's a ceiling raiser to very good teams. Like Kevin Durant made the Warriors unbeatable, but he couldn't even make the Suns a 50-win team.
Do you think part of that was not having point in having Booker initiate offense? Because Booker is a little bit better when they had CP3.
Absolutely. But Booker, the thing is that Booker averaged 29 and 8. So I can't sit there and say that playing next to Kevin Durant and having him be the point guard was bad because he put up elite numbers. He when he and KD were playing together, he would put up huge numbers. It wasn't 29 and 8 for the whole season, but like I think he continued to average 25 and 7, which I believe was his he's averaged like 25 and 7 for like 5 straight seasons. But like, the Suns were definitely better when CP3 was there orchestrating everything. There's no question about that. I'm not arguing that at all. But like in the series where the goddamn Timberwolves, they swept the Suns and Anthony Edwards scored like 40 a game. Yeah, exactly. He was doing the DX thing, and like he hates Kevin. Well, Kevin Durant's his idol, so he loves playing against him. But like that level of like that's like I'm sorry, but you can't tell me that Kevin Durant, like, you showed up and you didn't do anything. He did nothing. His whole time with the Suns, he did nothing. And it's not all his fault. There were plenty of other things that were wrong. There were plenty of other things that were wrong with the roster construction of those teams. But the number of times that he fucking stood there and did nothing while everything was falling apart. And the locker room chemistry was horrible. Again, Beal, obviously part of that.
That was a terrible deal. Set y'all back.
Horrible choice. But I'm just saying, like, these things also happen constantly around him. Mm-hmm. And at a certain point, we have to be like, he has to take some flack for something. I don't understand why KD just skates on everything. Like, I just feel like he skates on all the. I know that NBA Twitter gives him shit, but like people talk about Kevin Durant like he's the greatest of all time. It's like, dude, the only championship he has is there's Steph Curry's championships with the Warriors.
That's such an interesting conversation regarding those championships, because like we acknowledge that it wasn't KD's team and that they needed him to beat those Cavs teams, because let's be real, once LeBron figured them out and had his guys, I do not have Golden State beating them in the following years without KD. But in the same breath, it's like that system was built around the gravity that Curry has. So it's like you're just a Super Saiyan 3 Harrison Barnes at that point. Because they came back around and they did it with Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins was pretty much playing that same spot that KD was. Obviously, he's not Kevin Durant, but like he was doing everything else that KD pretty much was required to do for that team.
Yeah, it's true. I would say that the Warriors still had a chance. I mean, they played the Cavs basically to a draw for through 7 games, and Curry had an opportunity to tie it at the end, and he didn't. I mean,
I just think LeBron's IQ at that point, he had figured them out at that point.
Yeah, I think they would have won the next year probably, but I could see 2 years later with a little bit more wear and tear on Kevin Love's body. Like I could have seen it being equal, but I agree with you. Like Kevin Durant going there is what made it impossible, because it's true that even with Kevin Durant there, like, you know, there's the game 3 where if Korver hits that 3, then the Cavs are up by 5 with less than a minute left, and it's a 2-1 series. That does, yeah. He said he
folks are like, "Oh, LeBron, why are you passing the ball? You had Draymond guarding you." But it's like, why is Korver on the court if not to hit that specific shot?
He said, I saw him like say in an article that he dreams about that like every single day, like every single night. He dreams about missing that 3. I'm like, dude, I feel so bad for him. Like to have such your whole life building to this one moment and to just have it. Because the thing is, it's not just that he missed. Anyone can miss a shot. It's that Kevin Durant rebounded the ball, casually walked up court, and then buried a triple the other way to give the Warriors a 1-point lead. And you were just like, oh, game over. That was the end.
Bro,
you just felt it in that moment.
I remember watching that game live, and it's like, I wasn't in that stadium, but I could feel everyone's stomach just crunch up just at that shot, because it was such a gut punch to that team at that point.
That was brutal, yeah. And that one, yeah, but it is true that, you know, again, even there, they were very close with the Warriors that had Kevin Durant, and this is still LeBron at the peak of his power. So I'm with you on that. But I also do think that, like you said, it's like I don't know that Durant was the only guy who would have put them over the top, and I don't think that Durant, as good as he was with the Warriors, like like you said, he wasn't the focal point. He was playing off the ball. And that's my thing with Durant, is that he is the best fittable secondary superstar ever. Like he's not the first guy, but he's the best second guy. He can fit into any team, but you need to already have the system. He can't be the system. He just needs to fit in the system. You know, he needs to do, you know, it's not like Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay and they tried to run the Tampa Bay offense and it was not working. And he was like, I need you to run my offense. And then they won the Super Bowl. And I just think that Kevin Durant, there is no Kevin Durant offense. It's the opposite. He needs to fit in, and when he does, then the teams are unstoppable. But it's just a matter of him doing that. And, again, the Rockets wanted him to be the primary option, and that's why we see that the Lakers, even without their best player, have the lead on them because of that.
It's crazy because one of my homies, he was calling Kevin Durant like the greatest underachiever because Kevin Durant has everything that you would want out of a scorer, and yet he should be in the GOAT conversation, but he's not.
No,
and that's such a travesty to him because you have everything that one would want for being put in that GOAT conversation.
Yeah. I mean, he's got the 2 finals MVPs. He's got 2 championships. He's got a regular season.
He should have
MVP.
more. He should have more. In theory, in 2007, if you said this guy finished with 5 championships and multiple scoring titles and multiple MVPs, you'd be like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. But let's also remember that in 2016, in Game 6 against the Warriors, all they had to do was win that game to close that series out. And Kevin Durant stood in the corner and let Russell Westbrook take every shot in the fourth quarter. I was in Vegas watching that game. I had bet on the Warriors, and I was having an anxiety attack because I thought I was going to lose all my rent money. But it was reliable as fuck. Kevin Durant went and stood in the corner, and he let Russell Westbrook take every shot. They would have won the championship that year.
Yeah,
they could have.
Maybe I wouldn't stamp it.
They were a better matchup for the Cavs than even that Warriors team was. Even though the Warriors took them to the dude. I just think that's Kevin Durant at his prime and Russell Westbrook in his prime. I don't know what the Cavs would have done defensively. It would have been an awesome series. It would have been 7 games, just like the Warriors Cavs series was. Maybe the Cavs still come out on top. Maybe LeBron was just destined to win in 2016 no matter what. But if Kevin Durant beats the Warriors and goes to the finals,
his career looks a lot different.
He probably doesn't go to the Warriors then, So him going there is his own. It's his own thing. He never should have done that. I think he knows he never should have done that. I think that was a horrible choice for him. And
I thought he was going to Boston that year, or
he
even Washington.
Boston would have been the right choice because even though he would just be just another Celtic or whatever, the legacy of being the guy who brought the Celtics back or whatever, the way that Boston would have embraced him and everything, he should have done that. That was the right choice. He made the wrong choice. And his career will always be tainted by the fact that he went to a team that won 73 games. You can't. And so that's why when I say, is Joel Embiid the most overrated player ever, the corollary to that discussion is KD the most overrated player ever? Because as good as Kevin Durant is he really in the top 15? Is Kevin Durant really a top 15 or top 20 all-time player?
He's definitely top 20. The top 15, it gets interesting, but
you would definitely put him in the top 20. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I would have too previously. And now over the last few years, I'm starting to wonder.
If we're talking just talent, if we're accolades aside, I think the greatest versus best combo is very different. I think he's top 10 if we're talking best basketball players all time, but greatest, he's closer to the 15, 20.
Yeah, I mean, he has more talent and more success and more ability than I mean, he might be the second or third most talented basketball player ever. He might be number 1. There are no people built like him.
And that's why the fact that he's in the top 20 is so disappointing.
Right. And that's my point to me is that if you have that, you should be dominating people.
Yeah.
And the way that, you think he'd rather have no championship. And it doesn't I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to hate on Kevin Durant. He's amazing. But
do you feel like the Achilles surgery shoots him any bail? Because it looks like since the Achilles and since he left Golden State, his career looks like how Carmelo and T-Mac's career looked.
No, because if his foot was behind the line, and he hit that shot against Giannis. Then they go to the finals, and the Suns beat them in the finals that year because they were not the Nets were not healthy, and the Suns were healthy, and the Suns beating the Nets. And I think that KD would have got credit for carrying a very injured team to the finals. And so I don't think that the Achilles. I think the only thing, especially because the thing is that like he left the Warriors anyway, and just basically took a gap year with a Nets team that wasn't going to win anything.
Yeah.
So I don't think that it ended up being that big of a deal because he wasn't going to win anything that year. If anything, it hurts him because he lost a year of, what is it, like 3,000 points or whatever, 2,000 points in the season. Yeah. So that hurts him. But I don't think he's been great since then. I don't think that it changed him. I think he's still been great. I just think that
he doesn't drive as much as he used to.
True. But he's also stayed a 50, 40, 90 shooter, and his efficiency levels have stayed the same, and he scored the same. His shot profile has certainly changed, but he hasn't become less efficient. So it's hard for me to say that he's gotten worse as a player. And if anything, like needing the ball near the hoop less opens up more stuff for other people. I wish he would shoot more threes, to be completely honest with you. That's what I wanted from him.
Efficiency, man.
Yeah, I wanted him to shoot more threes while with the Suns. That's what I really wanted. But so I think your homie said that Durant is the greatest underachiever of all time. I think that's the best way to look at him. But I think that Joel Embiid might be number 2. So, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Do you want to start, or do you want me to explain why you're wrong and then you'll be wrong, or how do you want to do this thing? Because we got it. Okay. What happened is this is like a week and a half ago. We're just DMing like we do. And we get into it over Jokic. And so we're like, well, this is a good episode, so let's do this. So, of course, I save it to the end.
I've been a believer that as long as Jokic is not a good rim protector, he will always keep the Nuggets from being as good as they could be.
But when has he ever been a good rim protector? They won a championship, and he was still a bad rim protector.
That's where we started, because that championship looks real funny as the years go by, especially if they lose tonight.
Well,
Look who they face. Look who they face. Look who they face.
They faced the Suns. God damn it! So don't even start that bullshit. They faced the Suns, and you know what? I'll tell you, the Suns were winning. It was 2-2, and the Suns were winning Game 5 when Chris Paul got hurt. And everyone fucking forgets that shit. It was 2-2, and the Suns were winning Game 5, and Chris Paul got hurt and didn't play the rest of the series, and the Suns ended up losing 4-2. But if you want to make the argument that the Suns should have won that year, I'm going to listen to that argument.
Listen, he didn't face any team above 50 wins that entire playoff run, bro. Like, whenever he faces 50-win teams, he tends to lose. The jury is out on that one.
The Suns won 49 games. Okay, they weren't a 50-win team, but they were a 49-win team that had just added Kevin Durant, and he missed the last couple weeks of the season right after the trade. That was a good team.
They got to face who they face again? They got to face an 8th seed, a 4th seed, a 7th seed, and an 8th seed. The Suns were their only real threat to actually beat them that year. Let's be real.
Okay, I'll agree with that. That's true.
2 play-in teams, 3 play-in teams actually. They got to face 3 play-in teams on that championship run.
So, but you're mad about the fact that Miami made the finals? What do you want them to do?
I'm just saying
what is it that the Nuggets were supposed to do? Were they supposed to be like, no, we're not playing Miami. They didn't deserve it.
I'm just saying that it's just weird to me that your only championship is the year that the competition wasn't the best. And they haven't come close since because they got rolled by Minnesota in that Game 7 where they were up by 20. And then they got rolled into Game 7 to OKC again. And it's like Alex Caruso's guarding you and you're just falling over like that. Come on, bro.
I mean, Caruso was literally hugging him the entire game and they just called nothing. Caruso literally...
Throw an elbow at him or something.
That I agree with.
Send a message.
Where's all that like angry Serbian mafia shit now?
He's
like,
done worse. Like he did. I remember this guy boxed off Campaign's face on a rebound, on those long rebounds. Like he has a little dirty side to him too.
Like, Jokic is a dirt. That's a fair point. Jokic is a little bit of a dirty player,
especially when things aren't going his way.
Yeah, he gets a little mad. That Markieff Morris, that like ended Markieff Morris's career, dude. He basically didn't play again after that, really. Like
I get Markieff was wrong for what he did, but to blindside the man like that with your full energy, and obviously Markieff wasn't prepared for it, so like his muscles are relaxed, so he felt all of that.
Yeah, I mean, Markieff is kind of a dick, so I don't like feel bad for him per se. I feel bad that basically fucked up his career though, because he never was able to recover from the concussion. I'd be like, yeah, that's another classic Suns name, Markieff Morris, dude. Man,
yeah, I don't know, but Jokic, it's just I get you got your little points, rebounds, assists. That's cute and all, but it's like you're a center. It's one thing with I know you don't like him, but Luka. Like he's a wing player, a wing point guard. You can at least rely on your centers to have your back. But you are the center. You gotta at least make yourself relevant in the paint. Like I'm not asking you to block every shot, but like go up and contest one time. Like he'll see the guy run into the lane and he'll just is he
a center or is he just 7 foot tall? Because nothing about the way he plays suggests that he is the center. He is the point guard on offense. He's a point forward on offense. And he is just a tall, lumbering person who stands around on defense. He doesn't do anything defensively. But I'm just curious. And here's the thing. That's not new. I don't understand where this – listen, I agree with you. That video you sent me where the guy was like, is Jokic such a genius that he's a genius on defense too? No, he's not. That video was stupid as fuck. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But what I am saying is, if you are to judge Nikola Jokic by his defense, you are literally looking at the wrong thing. Listen, we talked about this beforehand, okay? Becky Hammond said about Jalen Brunson that he can't be the star of a championship team. He can't be 1A because he's not like the best. He's too small to be a player. And you said, well, you'd have to put a bunch of large defensive players around him. Yeah. And that's my point with Jokic. It's like, of course, he sucks on defense. So you put defenders around him and you let him do his thing on offense. Like,
I see Jokic
has never been
question
good.
There.
Yeah. Would they be better if he played with the real center? And no, because they were at their best when they had Aaron Gordon, a forward, doing rim protection. We're way too stuck in the archetypes, man. Like the center.
I just don't think you should be relying on Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon was the rim protector on that team, though, not Jokic.
But that's the problem. If Aaron Gordon's your rim protection, you got a problem. That's my
why opinion. They won a championship. They won a championship. What problem do they have? They won. They beat everyone in their way. You can only play the teams that are put in front of you. And they were on their way to repeating the next year before an unbelievable collapse against the Wolves. The Wolves collapse is.
So you think they're beating Dallas as well as what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck. Come on. No, dude. That Dallas team. No.
I feel like Luka was undeniable.
They got so many breaks. Dude, they got wiped out of the fucking finals. The Celtics didn't even bother with them. That team, that was nothing, dude. I think the Celtics
would have beat the Nuggets as well, to be quite honest with you. But
maybe. But if they had made a second finals, it certainly would have been. It's better to make the finals than lose before it. But like the Suns,
not if you're LeBron James.
The Mavericks finals team was way worse.
Not if you're LeBron James. It gets held against him that he lost all those times. Everyone else, yeah, you could say getting to finals is better than
because LeBron has lost to like. Oh, you're talking about the finals? Yeah, I don't hold those things against LeBron. I hold against LeBron the times that he didn't make the finals when he lost to teams that were worse than him. I'm not going to blame him for the Cavs teams that he carried to the finals that were nowhere near good enough to win.
Yeah.
I don't blame LeBron for those. I'm not in that group of people. Making the finals and losing is better than losing before the finals. That's why when people are like, Joe Montana was 4-0 in Super Bowls and Tom Brady lost 3 of them. He made
Idiot.
6 more, asshole.
Idiot.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not even like, what are you fucking saying? Like, I agree wholeheartedly. My point is just that if the anger against Jokic is that he's a bad defender, he's always been a bad defender. I don't know why that's new.
Been my issue for years upon years.
But it's who he is. It's who he is. Okay,
and that's why there was a point in time where I thought that Joel Embiid was better than him.
Joel Embiid won an MVP over him, so like the NBA media agreed with you for at least one season.
True. Well,
but so is your beef that he has 3 MVPs then? Like, is that the issue? Like, you're mad that he has 3? Like, what is the beef with Jokic? I don't understand. Like, that's what I don't get. Is of course he's a bad defender.
They called him one of the best, the best centers. Like, they're trying to. My biggest issue was when they said they're moving Hakeem out of the top 10 to put him into that conversation. And I'm like, hell no. You can't do that. Defense is too important, especially at the center. His contemporaries, the people they're saying that he's better than, were all great defenders, and that's my issue there.
The 3 best centers of all time are, and you can put them in whatever order you want. This is my opinion. This is how I feel. Is Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Shaq. And you can put them in whatever order you want. I know people love Wilt Chamberlain. Bill Russell dominated him. And I understand that Wilt Chamberlain still scored 1 million points in those games against him, blah, 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 blah. Bill Russell is the only person who repeatedly won against Wilt Chamberlain. He beat him over and over and over. So I do not care. Wilt Chamberlain, the dude was a modern era player back then. And Bill Russell, a 6'9" dude who was basically LeBron, played center and dominated him. So I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I'm holding to that shit. Kareem, I mean, dude, he scored 38,000 points on skyhooks.
Had one of the best careers ever, actually.
Yeah, Kareem has one of the greatest careers of all time. And then Shaq, if Shaq cared about basketball, if Shaq really truly gave a shit, he would have had another 3 or 4 championships. And Shaq could have been the greatest player of all time if he cared in the way that Michael Jordan cared. But that's also the point. Finding a dude that has the size and the dedication, you don't normally get everything. But that's my opinion. Now, 4th, I would put Hakeem. I'm with you right there. Hakeem is 4. So I'm not even at Jokic at this point. I might consider Jokic at 5. I don't think so. I think there are other people I would take first. But we're just talking about centers right now. So the idea that Jokic is a top 10 all-10 player when I've already identified 4 centers that are better than him is ludicrous. Jokic is another dude that at this point we're talking about. He was getting towards the top 10 for me. He really was. The 3 MVPs were a big deal. But
he's in the top 20 for me, like 20.
I think that's more fair because the fall off the last couple of years has been bad. Like he was not great like this year. And now if they lose this again, I don't know. I agree with you. Hakeem has 2 championships. And not only that, he has the 2 championships in the deficit of the Michael Jordan era. Those championships are in.
And never forget what he did in one of those years. He won almost every single award you could win that year.
Yeah. Yeah. Hakeem. Now, so okay. We talked about most overrated. I think Hakeem might be the most underrated player of all time. Because Hakeem is someone who should be discussed with all-time greats, and he's not.
How do you feel about a guy like Moses Malone? Are you familiar with him?
Of course. Moses.
I feel like he's slept on as well. Like he was.
Yeah, of course.
He was one of those guys.
Everyone thinks about Dr. J when the 76ers won the title in 83. But Moses Malone was really probably the best player on that team. His defense and rebounding powered everything he did. Huh?
He made Kareem look like a child too.
Yeah, he literally dominated him. And so Moses is number 1. He's the best rebounder of all time. Mm-hmm. He's a top 5 defender of all time. Moses Malone is one of the, he is. That's the thing is he gets no credit for all the great 76ers teams. It's all discussion about Dr. J and there was talk of then Charles Barkley and all these things.
Aesthetic.
And Moses Malone was really the dude.
It's the aesthetic of how he was hooping. That up and under that they always show.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, Dr. J is another dude, though, dude. If he had, because the problem was his best years were in the ABA. Yeah. If Dr. J's prime was in the NBA, dude, he would be one of the 10 best players of all time, too. I believe that. I believe that Julius Erving is one of the 10 most talented people to ever play basketball. And I believe that, unfortunately, the fact that he spent his prime in an inferior basketball league hurt what would have otherwise been an insane career. Because I think he left 2 to 3 NBA championships on the table by being in the ABA. He was just so good. In his prime, he was literally unstoppable. And I just don't think the NBA had ever seen anything like him before. And if he had played in the NBA when he was 26, 27, 28, and not until he was like 30 when he got there, Julius Erving is someone who I think literally these kids, I hate to be the old head, but I'm like, these kids today don't know about Dr. J, man.
They don't. They don't.
It's true.
They barely even know about 2000s players, let alone the historical.
Yeah, they don't even know Allen Iverson, much less Dr. J. So listen, I'm with you. And Moses Malone, he is all time. I think that the biggest problem for him is just and I'm not saying I feel this way, but I think when you talk about how people view him, it's lack of accolades. Because Dr. J was the face of that team. And then later, Barkley was the face of that team. And although Moses Malone did all the damn work, it didn't resonate with the people in a way that resulted in MVP talk, And I'm not saying that it shouldn't have. I'm just saying that if we're going to talk about the best of all time, accolades matter somewhat. You're a one-time champion. That's very good. But Hakeem was the driving force behind 2 titles in the most difficult era of basketball. He absolutely deserves way more than he gets. I wholeheartedly agree. Man, that Knicks Rockets finals, that was one of the defining moments of my childhood. Watching that shit, I didn't even know who to root for.
I am one of those people who believe that if Hakeem's team faced Jordan in one of those 2 years he won, Hakeem's handed Jordan one of his finals L's. I strongly believe it. I feel like those 2 years of Jordan sitting out worked out for him, because if he had went to 4 straight, somebody would have got him. 4 or 5 straight, somebody's getting him. But the years in between, I think it benefited him.
So here's what I would say about that. And I can understand why you would make that argument given the fact that the Bulls lost to the Magic when Jordan came back, which is why Jordan went to the front office and said, go get me Dennis Rodman. And then they won 3 more. Here's my thing about that. Jordan retired suddenly after his father is murdered. Nobody expected that, right? Everything kind of goes haywire. Grant Hill ends up leaving for the Magic. Scottie stays. The thing is that we don't know what the Bulls would have done from a team shaping perspective had Michael Jordan not retired. So my thing is that especially the 93 Bulls that beat the Suns, there are a lot of people, and I'm not the one making this argument. I'm not making this argument, by the way. This is not a me thing. There are a lot of people who believe that the Suns, the 93-94 Suns, were actually a better team. That team was more talented, and that's one of Jordan's shining moments because he carried an inferior team to a championship over a better team. I am not the person making this argument. To be clear, I was a Bulls fan back then. So, I was a little kid. I am not the person. This is not some delusional Suns fan argument I have made. That Suns team had 6 players averaging more than 15 points a game. They had Charles Barkley playing in his absolute prime. Kevin Johnson was the best point guard in the NBA at that point, or extremely close. The team was incredibly deep. The Bulls were aging, falling apart a little bit. It was Michael, Scottie, and then a bunch of guys. And so
from that, he had his best performances too in that specific finals.
That series is one of Jordan's greatest series ever. It really, truly is. That's the thing about the Suns is all of our finals losses. In 76, we lost to the Celtics, and I think it was I believe it was Havlicek's greatest series. And then in 93, we lose to Jordan at the peak of his Jordanism. And then in the Bucks finals, like everyone, Giannis had 50 in a game 6 closeout. That was amazing. But Booker scored 40 that game. Like we're always so close, but we're always meeting people at the absolute height of their powers. And the Suns have never quite been able to get over that because we're not quite at the height of our powers or whatever. And so it's just funny because the 3 Suns losses, while painful, were all against really, really good players at like their height. And so not that makes it better. You still lost. It doesn't matter. But I'm just saying it's interesting to hear some people say that. And so what I think some people have said, Jordan also felt like they had no chance to win. So he retired to go play baseball for a little bit to let the team retool. And there are other people that said he was suspended for gambling and he didn't actually retire. And that David Stern agreed to let him retire because he was suspended for. Bill Simmons has said several times that Michael Jordan did not actually retire and that he was suspended for gambling for 1.5 years. He was gambling on the games and that they used the retirement as a cover story to generate media, but that he was in fact suspended for gambling. Bill Simmons has said this many times. Can't verify it, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying that we don't know what the Bulls would have done that summer to retool that team. Let me put it to you this way. If the Bulls go into 94 with Jordan and Pippen and a bunch of dudes and they don't retool, I do understand the argument that that Rockets team that had just acquired Clyde Drexler, that had Kenny Smith, that had all these dudes, I do think that team could have beaten the Bulls. But again, that also, you're not even giving the Bulls a chance to go through that transaction cycle. Who knows what they would have done that summer if Jordan stays? So that's my only thing.
Fair.
That's my one thing.
Fair. I just think the mileage at that point would have just caught up to him as it usually does.
He had played 3 straight years of playing every single game all the way to the final. I mean, it's very true. Everything catches up to you eventually. And maybe the 1.5 years off did good for him and allowed him to win 3 more. Maybe that time, maybe that break gave him what he needed. I am on the other side of it. I think if he doesn't retire, I think they would have won every championship for the entire decade. So that's where I go with that one. I think the Bulls could have won past 9. I think they could have won up to the year 2000. I think they could have won 2 more. I wholeheartedly.
You're a Jordan fan. It makes sense you feel that way.
Oh, I'm a stan. I'm a stan. Listen, everyone can agree. I acknowledge it. When it comes to the people that I support, I'm a full-on delusional donkey. I understand. I get it. I'm just okay with that. That's fine with me.
As long as you are self-aware, can't be mad at that.
Dude, I ended friendships with people when they told me that Tampa Bay wouldn't make it to the playoffs and Tom Brady went to the Bucs. I ended a very good friendship. Now, to be fair, it was a last straw thing. This is a friend of mine who told me he wanted to start a podcast with me, and I was like, cool, let's do that. Then he completely ghosted me. And I hadn't spoken to him in a while. And then out of nowhere, when I said, I was like, the Patriots, I was like, the Bucs are going to be better than New England next year. He's like, nope, sorry. New England wins 10 games and goes to the playoffs, and the Bucs aren't even going to blow it. And I hadn't spoken to him forever. And I was like, you know what? Block. Fuck you. And I have never spoken to that person since. So I am very immature. I know it. But to be fair, he started it. I so, all right, it's time, though. You said you had one. I'm ready. It is time for Power Bat Power Takes. The only show that features a very large Dave and Buster's bat that I beat myself with to sleep at night when I'm crying. The Dave and Buster's Power Bat. This show brought to you by Dave and Buster's, hopefully, eventually. Sponsor me, Dave and Buster's. I love you. All right, let's get it. Give me the take. Give it to me. I want to hear it. This was, I believe it was Suns related. Was your take that's going to piss me off? Here we go. What's my rage? See the rage in my eyes. You ready? Here you go.
We're going to see a deal that involves Devin Booker going to the Detroit Pistons.
Ah! How dare you?
Come on now.
That has long been one of my greatest fears. That has long been one of my greatest fears.
At some point.
God. This is a great idea. An episode from Dave and Buster. This is a phenomenal idea. I'm bringing the power bat. I'm bringing the power bat with me to the episode from Dave and Buster's.
One of those employees going to be like, ain't that the same guy who won that from us a couple months ago?
He brought it back. Sir, there's no returning the power bat. I have long feared that. That is one thing I worry about, especially with the emergence of Cade, that Devin Booker could theoretically want to go back to Detroit. Here's what's on my side on that one. $71 million in extensions. Because
Jokic is fighting somebody in the middle of the game now.
Look at this, though. Keith coming in off the top rope with the comment of the day. Booker doesn't need to be sent to Detroit because Michigan is already running the Suns. That is fucking true. Our owner from Michigan State, our GM, his former assistant coach at Michigan State, our head coach, a former player from Michigan State. Every single person in – that's why – you know what? That's what it is. We're trying to keep Devin Booker from going to Michigan by importing as many Michigan people as possible. Now,
give him the Michigan
fans would point out that Devin Booker is from Detroit and therefore much more likely a fan of University of Michigan and not Michigan State. But listen, people from out of state don't have the ability to know those things. Who is Jokic fighting? Did he punch somebody? Did he get thrown out?
Clark.
Wow.
Wow.
Smart play by Jalen Clark to fight Jokic.
Trying to get him to throw. Try to get him to swing.
get Jokic thrown out. And
Clark is expendable. Jokic isn't.
There you go. There you go. All right, now I have to do it. Power bat, power take. All right.
Let's hear yours.
I've got one for you. I have to put it in this. I need to get better. I need this like hanging from the ceiling so I can just swing it into frame like very smoothly. Okay. I'll tell you a powerful, powerful take. I think I already said this one. Did I say that the Magic are going to lose to the Pistons and Paolo Banchero is going to get traded to the Lakers for Austin Reeves?
Huh?
Yeah, there you go. That's my take right there. That's my take right there is that Paolo Banchero is going to the Lakers for Austin Reeves because the Magic need someone who can run an offense. And as much as the Lakers are pretending that they want to play Luka and Austin Reeves together, those two guys are the same player. And they cannot, that doesn't work. You can't have two of the exact same dude. Paolo Banchero in the Magic, it's not working. So Paolo Banchero and like Wendell Carter go to the Lakers for Austin Reeves and like DeAndre Ayton or something to that effect. I think Ayton's only on a 1 year. So, but that's my power bat thing is that Paolo Banchero ends up in LA and Austin Reeves ends up in Orlando.
History would be repeating itself of first round Orlando picks going to LA. So
that's why it makes perfect sense. Like it's an Orlando big playing with the Lakers. We've seen it a million times. It makes perfect sense, especially now that Franz Wagner is clearly their best player. And you can play him at the 4 and you put Reeves in him and Suggs and Anthony Black. And then, if you lose Wendell Carter, you got to figure out the center thing. But that's my because Anthony Black has been awesome for them. So you've got him. You got to pay him. So I think Banchero is the odd man out. I think they fire the coach too. Big changes in Orlando. That's my power bat. Is that they have this thing 3-2. The Pistons come back and win. And Orlando loses in the first round yet again, despite having a lead in this series. And they fire the coach and they trade Paolo Banchero. And if that's not a power bat, I don't know what it is.
I like it. I like it a lot.
We will see you here next week after we figure out what's up with this Cavs series, and you either get to brag or have to deal with me.
We'll be going down to Cancun with y'all real soon, anyways. So
it's one way or another.
Yeah,
we're all Cancun bound.
Yes, sir.
It would be a tough team. This is very true. Well, 8 minutes left in the Nuggets Timberwolves game, so the Jokic debate will rage on further when they either choke this game away or come back and win. If they lose this one, your argument grows even more.
Especially with a depleted T-Wolves team. Oh, man. The Twitter landscape is going to be very crazy.
It's a 1-point game now, though. Jokic has 25 points. Julius Randle has 15. Wow. Jaden McDaniels has 26, and Terrence Shannon has 18. Shannon is 0 of 5 from 3. This is a dude who has played not at all for them, taking all of their shots. This is quite this is going to be quite an ending.
Yeah.
It's going to be enjoyable. I'll hit you up. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate
Shout out to Treehouse Bandit.
Thank you, Treehouse Bandit, as always. The number one fan of all my podcasts. What can I say? I appreciate you, man. Talk soon.
Yes, sir.
Oh, actually, hold on a moment. I apologize. I have to make one change here.
Yes,
so for my outro today. Oh, actually, I can't play it as an outro. All right, before we go, we're gonna do this right now. So I got really angry yesterday, and I'm not gonna name who, since this is on a video. But I decided that I was going to take out my anger at this particular person via song. And so we're going to do the world debut of my new song called Cocaine, fittingly enough, right now. We're going to see if this shit fits on here. We're going to see how it goes. So here we go. I'm going to play this before I play the outro because I forgot to make a video for it to make it the outro. So here we go. Why not? Yo, this track is about every boss you've ever hated. Every time you've ever hated one of these motherfuckers, you couldn't stand them and need to get fucked up and tell them. We're gonna do that right now. Yo, fuck you. While I snort these lines, I don't ever give a fuck about what's on your mind. If you wanna battle me, I'm ready all of the time. I'll take your ass down to the bottom line, cause we know that's where you love to be, bitch. Obsessed with chat GPT, bitch. I don't know what anybody sees, bitch. Analysts can't analyze the trees, bitch. CEO, more like FEO. Fake ass, failed ass, saved by the Harvard dough. Ask where you came from, and I still don't know. Your whole fucking personality's a LinkedIn show. When I asked Gemini a co-pilot, cause it's the truth, but you ain't smart enough to go find it. AI is a tool, just like you. You're a damn fool, use terminals to think for you. I'm here snorting cocaine, and I still could do every single thing that ever has been asked of you. I could even keep this face in strippers' ass for you, and I can complicate the stack in order to task for you. X look up his dick, XL is copy and paste. Leave your reputation on Kelly, now you're Mace. Game of Thrones will gold crown you, now you're facing in this rap game. I hate you, now you're wasted. I know why you can't close, cause you would drink inside in the Venn diagram of hoes. You on the bitch mate side. I'm on the alcohol and flow, give your wife my high. Nice snapback, huh? I'm on the way back side, where I can take a bitch way back and slay backside. I don't care about codes, about the pain I'll find, cause you can cut my paychecks, but I can smack behind. And if you don't believe that, then you can ask my dimes. It's been a while since I had to hate Buster Rhymes, but if you flip modes and crash flood, then baby, it's time. My squad will D12 you, devil's night is coming. This bitch got no defense like Brandon Knight was coming. I don't mean to slight you, I do mean to swipe. Get away with them fake hellos before I have to fight you. Cut you so sharply that I'll PS1 sprite you. More knowledge and more swag, I exist despite you. Agave tequila versus some kind of white brew. Latte milk and water, homie, you vanilla white scoops. Every choice you ever made, something I wouldn't might do. They think it don't be like it is, but it do be fuck you. I know you're sick of it, but homie, I'm not quite through. Magnanimous survives, not because you, but despite you. I know you never seen a party, no one would invite you. All the money in the world that pay us to despise you. Pay friends fortunes while everyone else will knife end. Ration after ration and pennies are not a stipend. I know you punch your radios, ask them when my life end, but I'm marvel eternal. Even my bombs are heightened. Even my mom is frightened. She see me spitting flames. She said, Blunty, don't go crazy. These people have married names. I guess I gotta worry about families and the dames, cause I'm lethal and ether. You never be the same. 26. I want to point out, I made the beat for that. I wrote it and recorded it in 5 hours. So wow. It's not good, but for a 5 hour creation while drinking, I think it's like a solid 6 out of 10. I'll give myself that.
I rate it. If I knew this boss, I'd like it even more too.
Dude, oh, man. I was pissed off. I was very angry. I just went for it. The funny thing is, I went online and I was like, beat making software. I just Googled it and I went and found one and I signed up for trial and I made this beat that obviously I used 3 instruments. It's not very good. But again, I was just like, fuck it. I'm just doing this right now. I don't care. And it just felt so good. Just the rage I was able to let out.
Oh man.
This track is about
I appreciate you, man.
every boss
you already know.
Oh, is it
Every
cycling
time
now?
you
It's
ever
still
hated
playing.
one
All
of
right.
these
Oh my god.
motherfuckers,
Okay. Well,
stand there,
I didn't even realize it
fucked
was.
up and tell
How do
them.
I turn? Stop. It's cycling. Okay. All right. Next week, my friend. I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you. Thank you. Peace.